Beautiful blessings, everyone. It's an absolutely amazing Earth Medicine Day today. I was outside this morning and there was a lot of teachings from the birds, also from some of the plants that are blooming, the sky. It's just been so incredible today. And so I was very drawn to do a Spirit of the Animal Oracle. And I wanted to share that beautiful energy. I did see my first crocus of the year, and that really made my heart smile, so I'm so grateful. But the energy today is very strong for lots of lessons in nature, and when that comes through, it's just something that I feel very grateful to share. So I would like to just take a moment and thank all creation, Source, Mother Earth, all of the elements, the spirit animals, the four directions, for bringing through a message today for our highest good. Thank you. Okay. I'm just going to give a little shuffle here. And I'm just going to pick one card. But it's a joy to see everything coming out blooming. I had no idea how many different springtime flowers are going to come up this year, because there was so many bulbs put in that are biannual or that I hadn't seen come up in the last couple of years, so I'm hoping. Okay. I'm just gonna, sometimes the animals just kind of, whoops. Okay. When it moves from the deck, I accept that as that source or spirit is trying to get my attention with that one. So today's message is, dear, love. Be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things and acknowledge your self-worth and grace. And it's absolutely beautiful artwork with these cards. And what's really, really resonating with me are, I don't want to get it wrong, but those look like the chickadees. And I have been seeing so many myself right now at the feeder, darting back and forth. And so 3 is been another number that's been very prevalent as recently. I did see the deer recently. They're reminding me when I was down at South Smith Point Beach. They have a reserve there, and the deer go, and sometimes the park rangers will leave some scraps of vegetation, some vegetables out there for them, and you can go down and watch them. And I wouldn't say they were friendly, but they're used to people, so they don't always run off. But I noticed that they were curious, very observant of my being there, but not so much so that they came so close. And they were so graceful. That's something that struck me, is with every move, it was almost as though it was very fluid and graceful. And it wasn't, it didn't look like they were very affected by everyone around that was watching them. So I'm going to read from the book with this one. Because there's a part in this that I love, and it's called Contrary, and it works with what I've understood with the correspondences. It kind of asks us to question, what is it we could be learning by the characteristics of something or the direct experience of it, to ask ourselves. And so, deer are watchful and wary. The vigilance helps them remain safe. Deer love a new path, adventure, and lots of variety. Just watch them nibble through a garden. They love to taste all of life, and deer people are refined, loving, and graceful. If deer is your totem, you instinctively know the benefits of plants and herbs. Plant knowledge, along with gentle compassion, is essential to your healing nature. You might sometimes feel victimized because others take advantage of your kindness and generosity. If this happens, retake control by invoking the energy of the stag, which demands respect and sets strong territorial boundaries. Deer people naturally know who their enemies are and who will artfully steer clear of them. If a deer person is your friend, pay attention to their intuitive advice. Deer are hard to fool. Let the natural harmony of deer create a gentle peace in your world. And that I agree. They were very graceful, and that's something when I first seen the card that they were reminding me of is how natural and fluid that they move with ease. There's many animals that are, I believe they're not noted always for certain things. When we think of things like grace, we think of what, a peacock or a bird flying, and so a deer, a doe, and they're young. It to see them moving through the thicket, and they're not really. It's not a forced movement. It is. It's very subtle, very quiet, and they're very patient. And so the contrary of this is: have you forgotten your need for a safe haven? Are you bounding ahead of yourself? Is your digestion affected by too many foods? Set boundaries and do not allow abuse. And so with this, because I was outside today, and I was reflecting before the reading on all the beautiful new growth, I feel like this ties into that, the greenery. And so I'm wearing green as well, which is ironic, but and so this is also reminding us, as I said, they were eating the vegetation when I seen them, and really enjoying that. They were mixing it in with some of the things that were still growing, that were down at the beach at the reserve. But they were really enjoying the vegetation, and they were very slowly eating this, and they were sharing. And so I feel like another message that's coming through today is there's many of us who are facing some health challenges right now. And it's easy to fall into patterns. I know there's some that can relate to when we're not feeling our best sometimes. We like to use food as comfort, hence the name comfort food. And I believe that the message from this is to make sure that we're eating fresh things that are healthy. Be mindful of that. And also be mindful of that, how our body is feeling after that. And I know for me, if I've gone ahead and went out to eat and had a little bit of a junk food, that some would say a bowl of French fries, within an hour I'm feeling tired, and I'm not feeling graceful, peaceful. You could feel your body's working harder to try to pull nutrients from that. And the deer, it's a natural thing. They're vegetarians. They understand that what is fresh and natural is meant for our bodies. And so Spirit is bringing through a message along with what was in the book, is to pay attention to this. Pay attention to how you're feeling after you eat and what you consume. Not necessarily we have to have a certain dietary need, but that a lot of raw vegetation right now is very, very important to keep our probiotics up in our intestines and make sure there's a balance. And also to be grateful to have those fresh vegetables and fresh fruits, nuts, maybe fresh baked bread that we've baked. It's all about that. It's not something chemical coming from a can or a bag all the time, as much as possible. And so they're saying that is a way we can heal. And sometimes we may be in an emotional state where we're not having a lot of self-worth. And so Spirit is saying sometimes what we can do when we can't pull ourselves out of that, or we're having some challenges that feel like we have no control over health-wise, is just making sure that we care for ourselves in that way by eating healthy foods, giving ourselves a good nutrition, taking the time out to try to make something fresh if we can at all possible, because that's a way of self-care and love that feels like, although maybe it's a little bit out of our control, we're still nurturing and we're still healing. And so that's a beautiful message today, and something I know that I really needed to hear myself. It's always the way. My readings are not just to share things from Spirit. Spirit is teaching me in the moment, and I'm grateful and honored that I am able to share that with others in hopes that maybe there's something that may inspire or encourage others. So, dear love, be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. And that's something that I have to say is very prevalent right now. Staying in that space of love, whether it's self-love or love for each other. It's an incredible healer. Don't underestimate that. All the love that we send out, and just even a thought, holding someone in that space of love, it can make a big difference. And trust that it's felt. So with that, I say thank you so much for allowing me to share with you today. I hope you have a beautiful, inspired, and blessed Sunday.